Welcome, Manhood Academy students, to another episode of Manhood Academy Podcasting. We're starting off right now, and we're going to the orientation section because I think Torero posted some questions. In fact, I don't think he did. I know he did. Let's see. Going to the orientation. Going to page 2, bottom, Q&A, Skypecast questions. Oh, worshipers rejoice. Looks like Torero is leading worship today.
Plum's passing out the collection plate right now.
Lot of disturbing worship going on. Just like when a chick, here's a problem with worship. It's just like going up to a guy and asking for his autograph. As soon as you ask for the autograph, you're basically saying, I'm the maid. So you're putting yourself on a lower level than the person you're talking to. Same with the worship thing. So it's just like when you're talking to a hot chick and you go, oh, you're so hot, you're so beautiful, you're so wonderful. You're basically telling her you're doing the worship thing. You're basically saying you're on a lower level.
Yeah, but I mean, what if it's true? Like, what if you genuinely think she's hot and beautiful?
What if it's true? Yeah, what if you truly are on a lower level? Is that what you're trying to tell me? What if you truly are a pussy? Yeah.
First, you get up off your knees.
Yes. Step 1, off the knees.
All right.
Do you realize your question basically says, what if I am so blind that I don't realize that I am on the same level as her and I am delusionally conditioned to believe that I'm on a lower level than her? That's your real question.
Okay. Right.
My answer is, stop deceiving yourself.
Okay.
The reason why you're on such a lower level is because you don't know how to do anything to fulfill your function where you would be on her level. For instance, she would be on a lower level if she was acting like a bitch. I would consider a bitch on a lower level than me. But if she was acting like a chick, she was submissive, then I would consider her on my level. So, by the same respect, I guess you could, in a sense, consider yourself on a lower level if you're an emasculated guy and you can't lead her. Then, sure, I guess you would be treated like you're on a lower level, especially with your question and how you're approaching her. It lets her know that she has no reason to be treating you like a guy she would date. Why would she? What is she going to get out of dating you? Put it that way. Let's say you say, oh, you're so wonderful, you're so beautiful. What's she going to get out of it?
A failed relationship?
Exactly. That is the correct answer, a failed relationship. Why would she ever want that? She doesn't. So, of course, she's going to be like, nope, don't like this guy. Go away.
Huh. So, when you initially talk to a girl, you never compliment her? Like, you don't say...
What does complimenting her have to do with being on a different level than her?
Okay, I guess it doesn't. I guess it just depends on your perspective and how you come across.
What? It depends on your perspective?
Yeah, like let's say I see a girl and she's walking down the street and I think she's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I go up and say, hey, I saw you over there. I think you're really cute. I wanted to come and talk to you.
Okay, what does that have to do with you being on a lower level than her?
Yeah, because I complimented her with that.
So if you complimented something, let's say I liked that car that DBP was driving. Say, hey DBP, right. I came over here because I really like your car. Am I now on a lower level than DBP because I like his car?
No.
Why not?
No.
According to you, I am.
I think I misunderstood the way you explained it.
Okay, so just miscommunication is what you're trying to say.
Right.
Okay. Covered?
May I ask?
Yes.
What is it the students do?
Speak up. What's that?
Like, could you give me an example? What do the students do that you consider worship? Like, what are some concrete examples?
Well, okay, for instance, Boggle will come in, oh, Plum is so wonderful doing this and that. Anything where you're basically shining the other guy's cock.
Glorification?
Yeah, it's just like you're saying, oh, you're so amazing. I want to put your poster of you on my wall. You always say the best things. I love you, buddy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, complimenting something or stating something that you like. But the problem is with Boggles and other worshipers is let's see. Let me think exactly what it would be. Because it's not the compliment. It's the
attitude.
It's the addition to the compliment. Now, it's not just the attitude because you can't see the attitude online. It's let me see. If you're saying you're so wonderful, well, put it this way: if you're saying I like what you did, like I like how you hit the baseball, you're an awesome batter, and then I take that further and I say because you're an awesome batter, you're a wonderful person. I'll never be as wonderful as you. Well, you've taken that compliment. You've taken something where you've given somebody praise, and now you've turned that into, you've changed statuses. You've taken the praise and made a status marker out of it. Instead of saying, I like the way you hit the baseball, so what? Now it's, I like the way you hit the baseball, and because you hit the baseball so much better than me, you're a better person than me. So now you've elevated the praise into a statement of worth. Basically, you said, I'm not worth as much as you because you can do something better than me. I'm not worth as much as you because you can say awesome things that I can't do. You're so much more special than me. That's basically Bogler in a nutshell. He's telling the other person, I like what you did, but also in addition to that, because you can do that, I can never do that, and I can never be like you. And basically saying, if I can never be like you, that implies automatically that person is more special, is on a higher level, a higher plane of existence than Boggles. Why would that person think to talk to Boggles now?
Exactly. That's why I find it so fucking offensive when he refers to other students as worshipers. Especially me, I find it really offensive, even though I know he's meaning it innocently.
I agree, and I also find you to be a worshiper, so I find it kind of ironic. So it's all around. Yeah. The thing is, I know you guys are going to be worshipers because it's a natural instinct. It's like, seeing your I don't know, celebrity or somebody you admired for a while, and you just kind of get like that. The condition is like starstruck, so to speak. But over time, once you have more positive social interactions, once you have more, I don't want to use the word positive, once you have social interactions where you start getting praise or you start getting, some type of pat on the back for your behavior, you're able to initiate and stimulate other people to the point where now they're trying to initiate conversations with you or hang out with you. That then lets you know, oh, I'm on a so-called higher level. When in reality, you're just learning how to be a functional person. You're learning how to stimulate the people you're talking to. So it's not about level, it's about learning how to function. You're basically a broken toy that hasn't been working, and you see a working toy, you pull the string and the doll says, Mommy, I love you, right? The doll's working. And you pull your string and nothing happens. So you think, I'm not as good as the other toy that's working. Well, once you learn how to pull the string and you say, Mommy, I love you, now you're a working toy. See, now you feel like, oh, you're better than the non-working toys. Again, the difference is just in you learning how to function properly. It's nothing inherently to do with this person is a more special person. Like, you're not born being more special. Like, I wasn't born learning how to lead anybody. This is something you definitely have to train for. I'm sorry?
You were us. You were
exactly.
Yourself.
Can you guys speak up? Because you guys sound very quiet. I don't know if it's a microphone level or I'm going to put the volume up. Boop, boop. Check, mic check, 1, 2. Sound off, everybody.
Check. Sound off. I don't hear me well.
Torero, you're good. Blue?
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me
You're
well?
good. You're perfect. HS?
Can you hear me?
Perfect. Blue, you're the quiet guy. I mean, not Blue. DBP.
DVP. That's
my mic okay now?
Yeah, that's good. That's perfect. Yeah, you're so quiet before. Okay, it's all good. All right. So that's.
Well, I have something to add to that.
What's that?
Basically, if you put the other person on a higher plane than you, that means they can also just do whatever they want to you, and that's dysfunctional too. Like, for example, the person that supposedly can say more interesting things than you, or fuck more girls than you, you're gonna say, hey man, you're so special. You can hit me in the face. You can take my money. You can have my wife. You can just do whatever you want to me. So it's also dysfunctional in that sense, where you're becoming like that person's bitch.
Yeah, I think once you've already established that, you have the attitude that the person is a better person than you, you're already in the wrong mindset, regardless of you're the bitch or not. You basically start off that way. Your attitude dictates that, and it lets the other person know that by the way you behave around them.
Yeah.
Especially Blue.
Yeah.
And they're free to exploit that however we want.
Especially Blue.
Because
Blue.
you were lucky because you won't exploit.
What happens to your mic all the time, buddy? It just cuts out.
God damn it.
It doesn't cut out, but it's just quiet.
Hold on a second. God.
Dude, how close is your mic to your mouth? Because I know you have this.
Yeah, you just like 2 seconds ago you spoke up and it was fine. Now it's just quiet again. I could hear you, but it sounds like you're farther away.
Now?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Alright, now I'm going to keep talking and tell me if it cuts out. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
It doesn't cut out. It sounds like you're farther away from the mic.
Oh, god damn it. Alright, so basically every time I have to talk, I have to hold it next to my fucking mouth.
That is so perfect.
Yeah.
I want to let you know, before we started the podcast, I got my pump on. I did 4 sets.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Delts.
4 sets of what?
Delts out, lifting out to the side with a 35-pound weight, and then back, going pulling up to my shoulder, back down again. 4 sets. I'm ready to go. I'm pumped.
70 push-ups, 15 pull-ups. Let's do this. Podcast ready, baby.
Sweet. That's podcast ready. You're podcast ready. What'd you do, HS101? Had a burrito.
I just did
Had a bowl of curry.
Push-ups.
What's that?
I felt like beating off, so instead did like 4 sets of push-ups and just tire myself out and do something productive.
Sweet. And Blue, how many bowls of cereal did you have before the podcast?
I bought some steak and I put it on my George Foreman grill and I ate it.
Awesome. Torero,
Badass.
how'd you prepare for the podcast?
I was gonna rub one out, but I didn't have enough time.
You didn't have enough time to rub it out, so he ate instead. He's on the anti-fap challenge. The non-fap challenge. Okay, so let's go. He's on the pro-fap challenge. How many times can he fap in a day? Okay, so we're going to go to his questions here. Let's see. Page 2 of orientation of the podcast announcement right off the bat. Why do you choose... Actually, let's have Torero read this out, because these are punk call-out questions, so we got to hear these from Torero.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
I would go that far. Let's hear him. Bring it.
Why do you choose to behave the way you do on other forums, berating anyone and everyone? Where's the pleasurable incentive for them to want to read the ebook or join the academy?
Okay, it sounds like you're reading a Dick and Jane question. I can't even concentrate. I fell asleep after the second time. Read it over and read it like you're asking me a question in person, not like you're reading a Dick and Jane reader. You wrote the sentences. You should know how to read them.
Why do you tear into everyone on other forums? Like, instead of it almost sounds a little counterproductive as far as making them want to read the ebook.
No, see no. See, that's a different question. When you say it almost seems counterproductive, that's like a light version of your question. So this is the problem with people on forums. You have 2 versions of your question. You have this version, which is how you actually feel. Why do you choose to behave the way you behave on other forums? Berating anyone and everyone, right? That's pretty down the line cut question. That's just saying you're not doing this right. What did you ask me when you were asking me your question? You put it in your paraphrase terms. What did you ask me?
I shortened it. I said it almost seems like.
Yeah, it almost seems like. Why did you say it almost seems like?
I put that it seems. It does seem counterproductive to your goal of...
Why do you say it seems counterproductive instead of berating anyone and everyone? Why are you saying that?
Because I realize now it sounds a little harsh. Like, I didn't mean to call you out or anything.
No, it does. That's the point. You should be able to say what you're reading. You should be able to read it and say it to me exactly how you typed it. Because this is exactly your sentiment. I agree with the sentiment. I'm not saying I don't disagree with your sentiment. I'm saying I agree with your sentiment, but I disagree with the way you're asking the question. I'd rather you ask me this question here, because this is your real question, versus now you don't want to offend me when you're speaking to me. Now you're asking me a totally different question. You're essentially asking me the same question, but I'm saying you're expressing 2 different thoughts. One is why is this? Because this is violating my expectation. Why are you doing this? That's violating my expectation. The other one is, how do I meet your expectation?
I see.
Do you realize you're asking me 2 different questions now?
Right. Yes.
One is, why aren't you meeting my expectation? Why are you violating my expectation? That's your on the forum question. And your in-person question is, how can I meet your expectation, Plum? Because I don't want to violate it. What's the problem with that?
I broke my expectation based on what you said about, like, me, it's almost like I'm calling you out.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the problem with that? How does that apply to real life?
That's just me giving in.
Expand on that thought. Yes, expand on that.
It's me not valuing my expectations.
Yes, it's you poorly managing your expectation. You have an expectation. You're trying to get it met with me. But your expectation, you don't value it. You value my expectation. You're like, hey, Plum's more important than me. I got to figure out a way to meet his expectation, even though I have a problem with his expectation. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
Or do you see the problem, I should say?
I see the problem with that.
Okay, so let's fix the problem. Why don't you ask me your question?
Alright, so why is it that you choose to behave the way you do on other forums? Like, I was first exposed to you on Casanova Crew.
I don't want your explanation. I want you to ask me this question here. I'm well able to hear you. I can understand you. Go ahead and just ask me the question.
Why do you choose to behave the way you do on other forums? Berating anyone and everyone. Where's the incentive for them to want to read the ebook or come check out the website, join the academy? It seems counterproductive to your goal of global infection, where you want students from around the world to come check it out. And it makes more enemies than students. I think the ebook's a good piece of work, brilliant. But I feel like more people would read it if you had a different approach with them on the forum rather than just tearing them a new asshole.
Okay, what do you suggest?
Well, see, I don't know exactly what to suggest, but it just seems
well, then
like...
how do you know that it's not going to work that way? You should have some suggestion. If you're going to say, don't do this, you should have a do this.
I think
let me tell you a secret. Let me tell you a secret. Torero, let me tell you a secret. Torero, let me tell you a secret.
Wait.
when you say don't do this,
Yeah.
and you don't have a do this part, you actually do have a do this part. You just don't say it. Do you realize that? Anytime you tell somebody don't do this, you secretly, whether you know it or not, actually have a do this instead. Now, whether you choose to say it or not is another story, but whenever you're saying don't do this, how do you know you have a do this part to the equation? How do you know that?
Because there's a reason I don't like the way you do it. So obviously, I guess, I don't know the right term or word, but if I don't like what you're doing, there's got to be a way that I would like you to do it.
Yes. In order to have the disagreement, in order to say this isn't right, you have to know what is right. Otherwise, you have no ground to disagree with that. So there always is, whenever you're saying don't do this to somebody, there's always a way you think that it should be done. So let's hear it.
Well, for one, the way you rip into people is like...
We got that. We want to hear the right way to do it.
I know you like mentioning that book, what's it called? How to Win Friends and how to influence people and win friends.
Right.
But on one of the chapters in there, it talks about how when you criticize people harshly, they're always going to get defensive. It's just like a natural instinct. They're going to get defensive and want to fight back. And I think you should instead maybe explain to them what's wrong with all the PUA crap, or little bits and pieces you see wrong on forums. Like, hey, you guys might have the right idea, or you guys are way off, but here's what you can do. Here's what works. Here's what I found that works better. Instead of just, you're a fucking faggot. Get out of here.
Right. Okay. So that's your suggestion.
Yeah, but then it sort of made me think about the ebook where you said they won't respect you until they fear your authority. But at the same time, go ahead.
Here's the problem that you're not seeing, that a lot of people aren't seeing. You don't realize that I've been doing this for a long time. And I don't know if you remember MASF. It was like a fast seduction. One of like the original forums where Mystery used to post. It was like a long time ago. I think it's fast seduction is still up. And I used to have like super long, like mile-long explanations for things, why they shouldn't be this way and what's wrong with it. But the problem is these guys are running a business. They're not interested in debate. They're not interested in figuring out that they're wrong. Because if they're wrong, they're losing money. I'm taking money out of their pockets. So they don't have a vested interest in having a debate about this stuff. If they have a debate about this stuff, they're going to come off on the losing end every time. So it's not in their interest to debate me. And there's miles of posts, about this stuff in MASF, or in different threads. And you understand very quickly that these guys are running a business. So they have a vested interest in telling you something that isn't going to work. They're trying to sell you fish. They're not teaching you how to fish. If they teach you how to fish, you don't depend on them. If I have to come to you to the market and you're the only guy that knows how to fish, well, guess what? I'm going to keep putting money in your pocket because you're the only source of fish I can find. Because I don't know how to fish. That's how you keep a PUA business going. So it's number one, it's not based on that. And number two, these forums are not run just by guys who are just, on the fence about these things. These forums are run by the businessmen who are trying to take your money. So, it's a no-win situation either way. Whether I'm explaining this, it's going to be banned. It's going to be turned against me. Whether I'm rude, it's going to be used as, hey, this guy's an asshole. In either case, whatever I do, it's going to work against me. This is it's a no-win situation. Casanova Crew is semi-unique in the way that, in one hand, they're trying to claim like they're not PUA, not affiliated with the seduction community. But on the other hand, we already know that they're affiliated with the seduction community. But they're just trying to be like, they're trying to say like, hey, we stand apart, we're different than them. But they're selling the very same products. And, they're typical seduction community guys like Vince Kelvin. They're advertising for this guy. This guy's a fucking cornball. But
yeah, they're just different that they don't specialize in one specific method.
Yeah, but again, they do specialize in one specific method because this is the pickup artist method. There's so many things in there that are inherently wrong that you will not be allowed to examine because you got guys like Decibel on there who are moderating and are banning posts that don't agree with his business model. Because again, if it's exposed that what they're doing is wrong, how are they going to get money? They can't. How is he going to have his man school? He's opened a man school, how to be a bro, right? How is he going to get money for that if I go, that's fucking lame because of X, Y, and Z? And people go, oh, that's right, something's wrong here. Well, how is he going to make money? He knows he can't make money if he debates this thing, so he has to shut down debate. The difference, we're like the only forum in existence or I'm sure there's other forums out there, but one of the only forums that I know of that doesn't have this money issue on the table where we're fucking scared of people, clowning on our work or wanting to debate our work or even debate their theories. We have no problem taking on all comers. And the proof is really in the pudding that we can go over there and challenge their ideas, but how many people have challenged us? And there have been people who have challenged us. Don't get me wrong. We've definitely answered them. But by and large, compared to other people's systems and methods, we don't really get that many challengers because our work is common sense. It speaks for itself. It's very reasonable. We're not using any special method. We're using exactly what works. I know a lot of people like to make that claim. This is what works. But how many people are willing to say, well, if that works so well, let's talk about it. Let's debate it. Let's see what are the errors in it. Where are the holes in it? Okay. So I agree. There's various ways to approach this. Just like, for instance, let's say a girl's a bitch, like a real bitch, not just a semi-bitchy, but like a total cunt. And she's super hot and you want to date her. So what are you going to do to approach her? How are you going to take her down, Terrell? What are you going to do?
First, call her out on her bullshit. Like, don't put up with it.
You're going to call her out right off the bat. She's a bitch. She's going to be like, fuck you. I'm going to go talk to these other 200 guys over here who are super nice to me.
You have to give her a reason to listen to you.
Yeah, why does she want to even listen to you?
And then try to give her a good direction to act. But like you said, there's little incentive for her to do that when there's too many other guys willing to accommodate.
Yes. So you could.
Before you start telling her she's a bitch.
Can't hear you, DBP.
Huh?
Can't hear DBP. Technical issues for DBP. Speak up.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
You have to give her a reason to listen to what you say in the first place. You can't just start going out and saying, "Hey, stop acting like a bitch." If I just did that to anybody, they'd probably punch me, slap me, or stop talking to me.
Yes, there you go. So you have to give her some incentive. So if you feel she's a bitch, she's always going to be causing you problems. So it's kind of like an opportunity cost for you. You could be talking to other girls, or you could be wasting a lot of effort, or depending on how you look at it, maybe investing a lot of emotional time in there and a lot of effort tolerating her bitch behavior. It's possible. Nobody's saying it's not possible. It's just that there's other girls that you could work on where it's less effort and less time invested and a better chance of a return. And you don't even know if it's going to return, you're going to get a return on this investment of time and effort. You could be, complimenting her, taking her out and not enforcing your expectations because remember, she's a bitch, so she's not going to meet your expectations right off the bat. It's going to take more incentive built up before she even values your expectations. So you're kind of compromising your expectations right off the bat. And then later on in the relationship, maybe, 3 months later, 6 months later, suddenly you're going to flip-flop. And this is assuming, again, you're even getting into a relationship with her. And she's got there's other guys she might be talking to. So you've got all kinds of X factors involved that you have no control over. Yes, there is a possibility it'll work out. And you were sweet in the beginning and then later on you start enforcing your expectations. But it's going to take much more effort. Now,
relating this back to the whole PUA
yes,
forum?
I am relating it back. That is one girl is one forum. Now, is there one PUA forum on the net?
No.
How many PUA forums are on the net?
Plenty.
Plenty, right? So that means there's plenty of bitches out there. So do I want to spend the rest of my life investing post after post after explanation on bitches?
No.
No. You may want to. I don't. So, yes, there's something to be said for, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar, meaning if you're, like you said, if you're taking the time to tolerate people, tolerate behavior, tolerate dysfunction, and even in a sense, you students, I can't just go, look, this is the way it is 100% of the time, and if you don't do it, you're kicked out of the academy. Even I can't do that with you guys. Because I know you guys don't have the training, you don't have the conditioning to meet my expectations. Just like PUAs and gurus, not only do they have a business model, but you also have your bad conditioning. So for me to come in there and say what you're doing is wrong, it's a very painful thing because you've invested yourself in your beliefs and your theories and your ideas. So you have all these things working against you. And number one, when I'm coming onto these forums, these are like usually just business forums, which means they're in a PUA business. They're trying to get money from these guys. They're not trying to help these guys in the sense that, we're trying to find the best way. We're trying to help these guys as long as it makes us money because they got to run the forums. They got to run the boot camps. They got to have this and that. So there's a monetary element in there.
Okay, well, Plum, I have a question about that, branching off of Terrell's question.
What's that?
I'm not always sure if I start talking to someone, especially if it's a girl, if I start making a new friend, and they violate one of my expectations, and I tell them, hey, don't do this way instead, and then they end up just pretty much giving me the cold shoulder. I'm not sure if it's because I'm not applying enough pleasure or not applying enough pain.
Usually with you, it's not enough pleasure. Because with a pleasurable incentive, if you're giving people a pleasurable incentive, you're giving them, especially in person, it's much more, I wouldn't say it's much different, but, with a forum, you don't get the voice inflection, you don't get to hang out, so you get a totally different experience in the sense that when you read words on the screen, I read them how I read them. I have to interpret them. But when you're speaking to me, you have more of a say of how those words are intended. And I get to get that sense when you're speaking to me physically. So there's a different dynamic going on. Whereas in person, your incentive, coupled with your authority, how your voice tone is, your body language, all that sends a very personal message, or it doesn't send a personal message. And it sends a very pleasurable communication, or it doesn't. Whereas you have to read more into things and have more investment on a forum. So it's not quite the same thing. But in general, I would say for you, especially for new people, not just for you, for everybody, a lot of the problem is not being able to create an incentive, a positive incentive. And this, again, I'm going to also answer Terrell's question here with the forum. I don't disagree with Terrell. I agree. It's a lot of it is just frustrating because, it's uphill work. But it's just like being frustrated with the students. You got to realize at some point, the PUAs, just like the students, are poorly conditioned, are poorly trained people. They're poorly trained men. And dealing with them is always going to be a headache. Because I'm going to continually be telling them what not to do and what they should be doing. If they knew what they should be doing, they wouldn't be a headache to begin with. That's what makes them a headache. That's what makes them join PUA forums, because they don't know how to give people incentive to talk to them. So they're going to be annoying right off the bat. You got to expect that. The forum issue is a difficult question for me because on one hand, I know, yes, it's, I should be more understanding because I realize that these people are going to have a lot of social conditioning problems right off the bat. But the thing that is so difficult for me to always swallow is the fact that I'm dealing with these guys who are making profit off of the mistakes of these kids, of these guys that don't know any better. They're profiting off of that. So it's always difficult for me to just take the slow approach and go, well, this, that, tip here, tip there, and then slowly build the relationship so they start listening to me and I just take over the forum. Because so many things can happen in the interim. I could build up all this investment in them and be giving all this great advice, and then one day I'm just banned. And then I got to start over again. And then now they can paint me any way they want. Like, a lot of times if you get a new guy in the forum, he doesn't know the history of me commenting in there, and he just sees me saying something. Well, does he know that I was banned 20 posts ago, or that, I made a bunch of posts and he's saying, why don't you explain yourself? Does he know I already explained myself? No, he doesn't know any of that. So it's very frustrating on so many different levels dealing with these pickup forums. So I'm probably not as careful with my approach as I should be. I'm probably not as succinct with my approach as I should be because I'm not really concerned with that. I'm more concerned with the people around me and the students at Manhood Academy. And I guess to a certain extent, like just finding new people who have, are not necessarily in the pickup artist game, or just guys out there who are just interested in the information we have. Everybody's really interested in social media.
Going off the bitch and going to another girl because you don't want to deal with the headache.
Pretty much. It's like, depending on how much of a headache the person is, because I realize everybody's going to be a headache to a certain degree. It's just how much is it worth of my time to invest in that?
Yeah.
So yes, I want to learn how to invest and over time deal with people, just like with students. My initial reaction with students is always like, why is this fucking idiot posting it this way? The EM guidelines are so clear. I've done podcasts, wasting my time telling them how to do it. And their very first question is, what's wrong with my EM report? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Well, you're not fucking reading, asshole. That's what's wrong. You're doing exactly what you're trained to do. That's what's wrong. So I need to realize, look, these guys are incompetent retards. I have to take them by the hand and lead them through it step by step. That's part of my job as an instructor. Part of my job is to receive $10 to tolerate people. You're paying me a toleration fee. If it was like $1, I would probably just say, if somebody asked me a question, I would say just fuck off and read the forum or listen to the podcast or fuck off. And be like, well, I'm going to quit the forum. Good, then get out of here. You're paying me $1. What do I care? Right? That $10 is just barely keeping me around. It's barely making me talk to you. I'm like a paid friend. There's one guy trying to haggle with me for he's thinking I'm running some kind of like a typical marketing business model thing where I would go, well, hey, here's the benefits of joining the academy and here's how to do this. And then he said something, he wants me to explain like X, Y, and Z for 10 hours. I'm like, look, join or fuck off. It's like, hey, you're not going to get my $10. See, with that approach, with the approach that people are coming with, the attitude that they're in control of everything. They don't understand that this is not like your typical business model where we cater to dysfunctional people or we cater to the public. That's exactly how you run into problems in the first place. If I just said, hey, what do you guys want for dinner? What kind of menu are we going to end up with? It's going to be full of sugar and full of bad things, right? It's going to be full of lard and sugar, one of the tastiest things on the menu. That's what we're going to end up with. If I don't realize that, I'm a short-term businessman. I'm going to really clean up on the first few weeks of my business because I'm going to give the customers exactly what they want. But if I do that over the long term, I'm going to fuck myself over because I'm going to make my customers unhappy in the long run. So
yes, and the second part of my
yes, go
there's
ahead.
another part to my question. Okay, so on the one hand, they don't have the training to meet your expectation yet. But on the other hand, the expectation is part of the training. I mean, you said that about
yes,
me
it's
before.
It's part of.
You kicked me out. I had to write my 20-page paper.
Well, I have to give them incentive. Why are you going to write your 20-page paper just because I told you?
Because there's something good at the forum. You're helping me. You're training me.
Well, there you go. If you didn't have that incentive, why would you even think to write a 20-page paper if I told you to write a 20-page paper?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then you answered your own question. You need to give people incentive to want to meet your expectations. You're not giving people incentive. That's the problem. You're saying, hey, I'm high school 101. Meet my expectation. Who are you? Fuck off. You're nobody to me.
Anytime somebody doesn't meet your expectations. Oh, go ahead, high school.
Okay, well, I have one more question about incentive. I know expression is a part of it. I need to keep writing every day. I need to brush up on that. But the purpose of the expression is to get into a relationship. So when you bring someone into your experience, by describing your reactions, describing how you felt, all those things, are you bringing them into a relationship, not just bringing them into your experience? And that's the
when are you not bringing somebody into a relationship?
What?
When are you not bringing somebody into a relationship?
I don't really know. I guess.
Does anybody know the answer to that question? When are you not bringing somebody? There you go. The answer is never. Any interaction you have, you're starting to form a relationship. Now, the question is, how good are you at forming that relationship? It's not are you or aren't you. It's how good are you at forming that relationship.
You could punch somebody in the face; it would still be a relationship, just not a healthy one.
There you go. Yeah. So you're asking me, hey, is there a relationship here, or should I have a relationship? My question to you is, why aren't you viewing every person you talk to as a relationship?
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, and once I start viewing them as a relationship, I can start basically giving a shit about them to give them incentive. And I'm being a little more.
Well, you got to understand that in order to give a shit about them, they have to give you something in return. I have to have foresight. I have to know that you students are a fucking burden to me. You're giving me nothing in return other than money, which I don't really care about the $10. That's, if somebody's going to pay me $10 for a headache, I'd rather just not have the $10. But I got to know that once you guys become functional, like, who's the biggest worshiper in here? Bogler. He's so fucking annoying, but he's been in here for such a long time. I've had such an influence on him now that he's an enjoyable person to talk to. Same with Paperclip. Mm-hmm. But I have to have foresight to know that the problem is not that they're just inherently fucking annoying or they're just an inherent drain, but that they are under poor training, poor management, poor parenting. I have to be a parent and teach them how to meet my expectations so that now I enjoy hanging out with them. I'm teaching them how to be their own person. Same with you guys, or even the strangers you meet. You can meet somebody who's fucking annoying, but the reason they're fucking annoying is because they have bad management. You need to become the new manager. So that's why every person you talk to is a relationship worth having, as long as you're a manager worth his salt who knows how to manage properly.
Yeah, and that was pretty much my point. Like, I met a couple new friends in the past month or so, and they're annoying, they're retards in a sense, and I also do need to work on giving them more incentive. Right? In the short term, I could just tell them to fuck off like I used to do. In the short term, that might relieve my headache. But I know in the long term, I'm not going to get anything out of that because I'll have less friends. And also, it'll make their problem worse. Yeah.
Congratulations.
To add on the high school point, so every single time somebody doesn't meet your expectation, it's automatically your fault because you don't give anybody incentive. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, in a general sense. Again, there are people who are going to be way fucking more of a headache than it's worth, and those people you might cut off, but yeah, generally you got to expect everybody to be a headache, and you got to put some effort out into everybody. So it just depends. If you continually are putting effort into somebody and trying to give them proper incentive in a pleasurable way, and they're still not responding, then you could cut ties. But largely you got to look and see, well, am I giving them incentive? And most of the time you aren't. Especially for girls who are like total bitches, a lot of times you just don't have incentive to open up to you or to respond to you in a way that is a non-bitchy way to respond. They don't have that incentive. Guys haven't given that incentive, so you can't just automatically go, oh, they're going to be a bitch and I'll never be able to change them. You haven't tried. You haven't given them proper incentive.
Uh-oh, got that one out.
Oh, DBP.
Did that?
Oh, welcome back.
No, I'm gonna end this call because I think you put the other guys.
Yeah, I put everybody on hold. Hold on for 1 second, though. I got to add DBP. Beep, where is he? Anybody there? Hello? Oh, hello?
Okay.
Why is my fucking internet so slow?
Torero, you still
Here's
there?
anybody but you.
Torero, you still there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm.
Okay, I can hear.
Yes.
I can hear.
Blue, you still here?
Here.
I'm still.
Yes, I am.
HS 101 and
Everybody's
DBP.
here.
Okay, everybody's here. All right, here we go.
I'm still here.
We're on question number 2. We're moving at light speed.
Sorry.
This is all good stuff. Don't worry about it. It's good to cover these points thoroughly. I always think I'm going to get through all this stuff, and I got a mile of issues to cover here, and we're on question 2. It only took us about 20 minutes to set up, so that was part of it.
Can you guys hear me when I talk from here?
Yeah, it's good right now. Okay, Torero, we're on point 2, or question number 2. Do we answer question number 1 first of all, Torero?
Very thoroughly.
Okay, let's go to question number 2.
All right, let's see. Let me scroll up real quick.
I know you have said.
What?
I know you have said.
I know you said we can post up our online dating profiles to have a critique in the sleeping lounge. But can you please give a brief outline or description about what was in yours so that we have some starting points?
No. Next question.
Do the friends of the girls...
Just post it. The problem is not with whether your post is right or not. The problem is your attitude. It is what's the right way to do this before I do it?
Okay, I see.
Just do it.
So
it's going to be wrong. You got to look at it this way. You don't know what you're doing, so whatever you post is going to be wrong. If it was right, you wouldn't be in the academy. It's wrong. Just post it. We'll fix it. I mean, so many people have wanted to post their profile, but they just they chicken out and don't post it because they want to have it perfect before it's posted. It defeats the point of even fixing their profile. Okay, next.
The friends of the girls you date, do they badmouth you or criticize you? Like, do they call you controlling or, let's say, machista, I guess it would be a Spanish word?
Depends.
How does the girl react, and how do you manage it? Is it simple expectation? Go ahead.
It depends on whether whether I know the friends or not. If I don't talk to them, they could say whatever because they're only going to hear about me third hand through the girl I'm dating. So obviously they're going to think something bad because chicks are stupid to begin with. But if I meet them, usually not, because authority works regardless if you're dating somebody or not. If they badmouth you or criticize you, that's irrelevant. It's only relevant if it affects your relationship. So which means you need to be managing. If it's affecting your relationship, you're not managing the girl you're dating properly. Because if you're managing her emotional investment is in you, not in her friends.
All right, well, that answers that question.
So whether you're controlling or not is irrelevant. I mean, you should be handling those things right off the bat. I mean, she'll probably call you controlling. But you need to be the one turning the tables and saying, what is it? What if somebody calls you controlling? What are you going to say? Terrell, you're controlling. I don't like it when you always want to be in charge, be the boss.
Oh, make fun of her? Like what? You want me to let you be in charge? See where that goes?
You want me to let you be in charge? Okay.
No, just prove to her that hey, this is the right way to do it. I mean, obviously you're here.
Right, but you're saying you want me to let you be in charge is what?
Chicks are stupid. They can't reason. They're not going to figure it out by themselves.
Yes. Oops. Somebody's phone's blowing up.
Sorry, guys.
Hello, how are you? Okay, Terrell, what's wrong with that question?
It's putting the answer on them, which is a bad thing.
You're doing what by asking the question?
Wait, say it again?
If I say, hey, I should let you be in charge, what are you trying to do with her?
You're giving her some of the power by giving her.
If I'm saying, are you in charge? What if we let you in charge? What's going to happen? What is she going to say?
Oh, she's going to say yes because she's done.
She's not going to know what to do. Why are you reasoning with her?
All right.
She doesn't know how to be in charge. She's going to say, yes, it's going to work. Of course it's going to work if you put me in charge. Or she's going to say, oh, we should be equal. Instead of reasoning with her. instead of reasoning with her, you should be telling her how to do it correctly. You should be saying, oh, she's saying, oh, you're controlling. What should you be doing at that point? What does she say? What if she's going, you're controlling, what is she doing to you, first of all?
She's presenting her expectation that you're controlling.
Yes, but what is she doing ultimately? You're controlling. What's she doing?
She's trying to shame you or guilt you.
Yes. So what does that mean? What does that mean you need to do?
That means she's not fully submissive yet.
Yes, so what do you need to do?
Further punish her and give her good direction.
Are you sure you shouldn't reason with her?
No.
Are you sure
I'm sure you should reason with her.
Are you sure you shouldn't get in an explanation war with her?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. This is part of basic expectation management. You're not realizing this because you don't have much practice, much experience examining your expectations and how. This is why we have you guys posting your EM reports. This is exactly what you need to recognize. These types of things when you're going, well, what happens if we put you in charge? You're trying to reason with her. What is she going to say back? You're assuming that she's going to go, oh, you know what, Terrell, you're right. I feel stupid now. If she felt that way, she wouldn't fucking try to be in charge in the first place.
Yeah, she's gonna say, there shouldn't be anybody in charge. We should be doing this together. We're supposed to be a team.
It's gonna be one of those bullshit answers where we both do it together. You know what's wrong with that?
So she's trying to do it on both of you.
You know what's wrong with that? If she goes, hey, we should do it together. What's wrong with that?
Well, it shouldn't be done together. The guy is supposed
Forget that. Let's talk practically. What's wrong with that? We should do it together. What's wrong with that?
Well, you have two different expectations. Nothing's going to get done. There's no direction.
How do you know who's in charge right now if we both do it together? Hey, let's go. We're a hand on the steering wheel. We're driving down the street, you and me, DVP. I want to go left. You want to go right. But we're supposed to do it together. Okay?
Crash into a tree.
How do we decide?
We don't. We crash into a tree.
We can't decide because nobody's in charge. That's how retarded that statement is. Girls don't understand what the fuck they're doing. They parrot that stupid statement like it actually makes sense. Hey, let's do it together. What the fuck does that mean, do it together? If we have to drive down the road and both of us are hands on the road, how do we determine if we're doing it together? How do we determine it? It means somebody has to decide. Somebody has to choose. If somebody has to choose, that means somebody's in charge. Somebody's making an executive decision. What she really means is,
why don't we walk around with our legs tied together while we're at it?
What she really means is, let's do it together, which translates into, I'm going to tell you how to do it, and we're going to make it sound like we're doing it together. Okay, that's what that means. So you should be saying, when she's saying, hey, why are you being so controlling? Why are you so... You should be like, why are you controlling? Why are you trying to control this relationship? You don't know what you're doing. You're not qualified to be in control. You don't know what you're doing. I'm a guy. I have more ability. I have more of this. You have no ability. You're dumb. The fact that you said that shows you're dumb. In fact, you don't even have to reason with her. This is all reasoning. But again, if you're gonna reason, if you're gonna justify, it should come with punishment. It shouldn't just become like, hey, what are your abilities versus my abilities? Let's take a math test. No, you're dumb. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Why do I want a retard in charge of this relationship?
Chicks all the time.
Why do I want a retard in charge of this relationship? I don't want this relationship to go off a cliff. That's why I'm in charge. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. There has to be punishment. Whenever you're reasoning, you should be reasoning, number one. But if you do make the mistake of doing that, you better very well point out what she's doing wrong, why her behavior is dysfunctional, which means you got to be basically rejecting her behavior. You got to be showing some rejection, some ridicule, something that's punishment, that's painful. And then you got to say, this is how it needs to work. I'm in charge. Comprende?
Sí, señor.
Next.
How do you gauge a girl's level of emotional investment? Like, on average, how much time lapses before she's, fully submissive?
Seems like the collective emotional investment might outweigh the investment.
I think I asked this question on a forum one time.
Hold on. It seems like the collective emotional investment she'd have with her friends might outweigh the investment she has in you. Well, if collective emotional investment, what does she have, like 4 friends? And their 4 Pokemon powers are overpowering your Pokemon power? How does that work?
I'm just saying, what I meant by that was, let's say her friends, I mean, they've been in her life for years, maybe.
Okay, let's say you have,
all my friends.
Let's say you have buddies you grew up with. You grew up with, right? Your childhood buddies. And then you meet a girl you really fall in love with, you like her. Are you gonna go, well, sorry honey, you're my girlfriend, I love you and everything, but I grew up with this guy, so I'm gonna go with his opinion. Or not his opinion, but I'm gonna listen to him instead, or I'm gonna value his decision instead of yours.
No.
Why not?
Because you're in love with her, not with the friends, with your friends.
Right. So there's a different type of emotional investment.
All right.
So how many years you've been friends versus how many years you've been loving this girl it's not comparable.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Next. So how do you gauge a girl's level of an emotional investment?
Yes.
On average, how much time lapses before full submission? I don't know. I haven't taken my graphs and calculators with me. How do you gauge a girl's level of emotional investment?
The second part is important. More so for the first part. Like,
first part's the important part. How do you know she's her level of emotional investment? Well, how would you know? How would anybody know? How do you know if a girl's emotionally invested? Anybody know?
When she meets your expectations.
There you go. Blue just gave the correct answer. When she meets your expectations.
I was confused about this. I thought it when the girl says, I love you, I adore you, and she says nice things to you.
Great, good for her.
That was her being emotionally invested.
Yeah, that's her just talking out of her ass. How do you know a girl is emotionally invested? When Blue says,
she's gone through those stages of submission.
Here's how you know a girl is emotionally invested. When Blue's at the pool and he says, hey, come over here, get in. And she says, no, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't want to get my hair wet. And Blue says, come on, just come in. And she goes, no, I don't want to.
There's no emotional investment.
But she tells Blue when she gets on, Blue, I love you. I like you a lot.
So she's not submissive yet.
There's no meaning his expectations. If he can't get his expectations met, how emotionally invested is she going to be?
Not too much.
You ever see that movie in I don't know if you'd call it emotional investment, but what's that fucking movie where the guy's like, how loyal are your henchmen? And the dude says, Mr. So-and-so, pull out your hand and pull out a lighter and then light his arm. And he's like burning his own arm. He's like, see, dude, my men are very loyal. How do you know he's loyal? Because he fucking did exactly what he wanted, even burning his own arm.
Yep.
So, if your girl's willing to burn her own arm for you with a lighter, no, don't test the lighter experiment. If she's meeting your expectations and you're not having to haggle over things, that shows she's invested. For instance, if a girl says to me, if I say, look, we're doing this, she's like, no, I don't want it. I say, let's go. And then she goes, well, is she invested or not?
Yes.
Invested.
Yes, because she may have a whine in the beginning, but if I say, hey, we're going, my foot's down, well, it's either punishment time or it's meet my expectation time, one or the other. It's not, come on, I don't know, please, honey, it's time to go now. It's like, let's fucking go. And then if I say, if she's not going, then I punish, then she knows, well, she's got to make a choice, meet my expectation or suffer the punishment. For instance, I've been arguing with a girl when Boggles was there and she was insulting one of the students, and I said, get the fuck out of here. You don't ever talk like that. So she got the fuck out. Then she came back 5 minutes later. And so obviously the emotional investment's there. Now I made her apologize to Boggles. Even though Boggles is wrong, he fucking threw water on her like an asshole, but that's regardless. The point is, she shouldn't be disrespecting one of my students while I'm in the class right there. That's the main point. Whether Boggles started it or not is irrelevant to me. The main point is whether she's meeting my expectations. So that right there is going to show emotional investment.
Why did Boggles throw water on her?
Because Boggles is an idiot. Okay, next. No, she did something to provoke him, and then she was acting like a bitch in the beginning, and then Boggles, Boggles doesn't know how to fucking manage anything, so his response is to throw water or something, whatever he had in his drink, and so Boggles is a problem, but also she's acting like a bitch. So it's a two-part problem. I gotta handle two problems. I gotta handle Boggles, who's fucking retarded and doesn't know any better, and then I gotta handle her being disrespectful to a student who's coming in who doesn't know any better, so she's taking advantage of him. So because I care about my expectations, she needs to apologize. She shouldn't be fucking starting problems in the first place. If she wasn't taking advantage of Boggles being a total retard, then she wouldn't have gotten water thrown on her in the first place. So, you gotta solve the root problem. You don't want to just handle all the symptoms. You gotta solve the root problem. Her bitch behavior is the root problem. If Boggles is a total nerd and doesn't know any better, does that give her a right to be a bitch just because Boggles doesn't know any better? No, she should still act submissive, even if Boggles is a total mangina. Doesn't matter. She's under my authority, not Boggles' authority. I expect her to behave a certain way when she's at my house. So she shouldn't be acting like a bitch to Boggles. So if she's going to act that way, get the fuck out, right? So I got to punish. If I'm not punishing, there's no emotional investment. There's no deep emotional investment. If you can't punish, you're not going to create deep emotional investment. If you're a guy who's like, oh, we'll just compromise, oh, we'll just do this, there's going to be no emotional investment. She's not going to fall deeply in love. You know, when girls say, oh, I love my boyfriend, he's so sweet, so this, so that. But also, I might want to move to Paris, and I have to decide whether I'm going to move to Paris or not and ditch him forever, or I'm going to stay here and, but I have a job there that's going to pay really well, and I don't want to do this, but I totally love my boyfriend. Does she love her boyfriend?
No.
How do you know?
Nope. Because she's talking to you.
Because that girl might give me her number.
Because what?
Because that girl might give me her number.
No. How do you know she's not in love with you?
Because she's still talking to you.
No. Because she's fucking reasoning whether this job is more important than her boyfriend. Whether moving to Paris is more important than her boyfriend. If anything is more important than you, there's no emotional investment.
Mm-hmm.
Think about when you like girls. What's more important than the girl? Hanging out with your buddies?
Nothing.
Eating at In-N-Out?
Nothing.
Nothing. There's emotional investment. That's why. Whatever you're most emotionally invested in, that's where you're going. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Fair?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes perfect
Yes, sir.
Is that fair? Fair enough?
Very.
I love saying that. That's who's that? Mystery method. That's mystery. I think he used to always say fair enough or fair? Fair? Fair?
You can dress her up, or you can't take her nowhere.
You can dress her up, but you can't take her out. Nothing like a good mystery saying for a sig file. All right. So, average how much time lapses before full submission? The issue is not
I
time.
don't really care so much for that one.
Yeah, a lot of these questions have to do with not understanding what causes the investment. So, like when you ask about time, the time is irrelevant if you understand when she's submissive. So that's not an issue. Okay, next last one.
On one of the recent podcasts I was on, you spoke about a time with Boggles where he called you up and hang out on the weekend, and you were mentioning that you didn't want to because he didn't offer any value or incentive. Can you give an example of things he could have said or done to make you want to hang out with him?
Yes. He didn't offer no value. Oh, God, I hate that term. Value. Value is when you're functional. Anything that functions is valuable. When this bottle of liquid, I open it and it holds the liquid for me, it's valuable because it's fulfilling its function, right? That's value. So when it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, it's valuable. When somebody is giving me incentive, I know they're valuable. Boggles is calling me without giving me proper incentive. So he's saying, hey, I'm Boggles. You guys are hanging out, having a good time. Why should I come hang out with you? Why do we want Boggles to hang out with us in the first place? Now, when I'm hanging out with Boggles or I'm hanging out with anybody, that is the time to give incentive, not over the phone. It's not time to go, here's all the reasons why I'm a great guy to hang out with. That's not the time to give incentive. The time to give incentive is when you're actually hanging out. That's for next time. So when Boggles calls me now, I don't just go, oh, now it's time to evaluate why Boggles is worth hanging out with. No, it's all the times I've hung out with him in the past. Those are cumulative to when I go back in my Rolodex in my head and I go, did I have fun with Boggles last time? Is it fun hanging out with Boggles overall, or is it a chore? Oh, it's a chore. Fuck Boggles, right? But I'm not adverse to having Boggles hanging out because I know from experience of talking to him and hanging out with him, he's a fun guy. He can be an enjoyable person to hang out with him if he's not being an asshole. So now, when he calls me, it's going to determine, if he's just calling me going, hey, you guys are having fun, why should I come along? Why should we fucking have you along is my question. If you just said, hey, can I hang out with you?
Yeah, let's get a resume.
Right. If he just called and said, hey, I want to hang out with you guys, I would have had no problem. Because I was already having fun with, I think, one or two other people. And I said, well, hey, if Boggles wants to come along, the more the merrier, right? But Boggles was first, hey, what are you doing? Why should I hang out with you? Who the fuck cares what we're doing? You're doing nothing by yourself. Two people or three people doing together hanging out is always better than you hanging out by yourself. If you don't know that, you have no business saying, why should I hang out with you guys? Maybe if three students were hanging out and I called you guys, I might be going, why should I hang out with you guys? But that's because I know I have something valuable to add because I know how to lead, know how to create incentive while I'm there. That's a different story. But in general, it's not going to be you calling up going, oh, I'm the most important person and, I'm gracing people with my presence. No, it's generally you are either a fun person to hang out with or you aren't, and people are going to gauge whether they want to hang out with you based on that. So if you're calling somebody, you should be offering them incentive. So, for instance, if Boggles is like, hey, I want to hang out with you guys. Boggles is a good time. Good time Boggles. But, of course, he's Boggles, so he approached it the wrong way, and now Boggles is hanging out with himself. Creating
I have
incentive.
a couple of questions about that.
Yes.
Okay, so what if Boggles wants to redeem himself? Like, he was okay to hang out with him in the beginning, and he kind of tanked, and now he's starting to go back into being like a boring person again, and then, so then would he just try and talk to you and, have a few conversations with you just to start giving you the incentive to want to hang out with him again?
No, he could just call me up and say, hey, I want to hang out.
Okay, because you still have known him to be a good person.
Yeah, I know that.
Past,
I already know that he is capable of being, of giving people incentive. I can gauge it just by his, by his expression when he's talking in the podcast. He's his own person where he can speak. He can express his thoughts now and give his, his reactions to things. I can read his blog or his posts, so I can gauge right then that he knows how to give people incentive. So really, it's just a matter of his approach to. What would it be? It's just that
So it's more about what
he's talking to you.
It's
Knowing what you want.
it's just like he doesn't. I don't have enough incentive from him to meet his expectations, but he can meet my expectations. Like if my expectation is that I'm open to hang out with him, but it depends on the circumstance. Like if I'm going to go on a hike with, say, Dr. Ladice, it might be 9 times out of 10 I don't want to take Boggles along because he's caused problems the last time we went someplace. So Boggles, if he had a brain, he would go, oh, these people aren't inviting me because I'm not giving them incentive. So I'm the problem. So now he has to adjust his behavior next time we do hang out. Let's say we just hang out going out to eat or something and it's a fun time. Well, I'm going to think about that fun time fondly and go, oh, remember that last time I hung out with Boggles was really good. Maybe I should take a chance and invite him on a hike. Maybe I should take a chance and be stuck with him for the whole day. That's a big investment of my time. I don't want to fucking be stuck with somebody I have to deal with or babysit. Why do I want the headache? I want to have a good time.
Okay, so then how would this work with new people? Like when you meet new people, you have to start giving them the incentive.
Well, take you for instance.
Like so much of them at the
Take
beginning.
you for instance. I don't want to hang out with you, but through the forum, you've been showing growth in the forum, and you're posting your blog, and you're becoming your own person. The more you become your own person, the more I'm incentivized to hang out with you. So now at this point, like if we were hanging out, I would probably invite you over for a bar. If you're having a barbecue, I probably wouldn't hang out with you individually, but I would hang out with you in a group for sure. I'm like, this guy, I like having him around. I like hearing from him. So then now we're hanging out in a group. If you can show that you're giving somebody incentive during that time in the group, hey, now I might want to hang out with you individually.
Okay, so it's like you don't know me like individually in person how I am, but you're just.
I know you from your interactions with me, and I know from your interactions personally with me, where we're just talking, or I'm just posting back and forth. I know you're annoying, so I wouldn't want to hang out with you in person. So, for instance, like, number one, you don't understand social interaction right off the bat when we first talked, and that's just every student. So, of course, I don't want to hang out with any of the students by themselves. And then over time, maybe I want to hang out with you because I see growth in your posts and I see you're managing your expectations. So that kind of incentivizes me to, oh, this guy's becoming his own person. He knows how to manage his expectations. Now I want to hang out with him. Take DVP, for instance. He's like an annoying worshiper guy in the chat room. But I can tell from speaking to him, he's somewhat his own person. He has his own expectations, and he's okay with sharing his reactions to things. And this is enjoyable. It's just a natural, it's not like you have to be the super person to hang out with. People have various, they're up or they're down, but they have their own unique expression. But the fact that the question is really whether they can express their reactions or not. And the more they learn how to express these reactions, the more they can bring you into these reactions, the more incentive you have to hang out with them. If they can't express their reactions to things, you're going to be stuck twiddling your thumbs, facing them like a staring contest. So you wouldn't handle them individually. You would handle them in a group, like as in a party, where people come to a party and they say, okay, something happened to me. Somebody stimulate me. Give me some alcohol or something, and I will lose my inhibitions and be free to talk to you. You understand the difference now? If you can talk to somebody without the alcohol, without the necessity of saying, oh, I need to be in a certain state, or I need to have certain people around me before I become fun, why do I want to hang out with you individually?
Yeah, so it's like without you placing the burden on them to provide the whole party for you.
Yes,
So
I don't want you asking me questions all the
hang out
time.
with me individually.
Exactly. Individually, I don't want to keep teaching you something. Like I can teach you on the forum. Why do I want to teach you in person? I want you to give me something. I don't want you, if a lot of times if I'm hanging out in Boggles in the beginning, he's always like, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? Fuck. Right? Why do I want to answer question after question after question?
Yeah. I mean, I can feel that intuitively. I'm trying to get like an exact sense, because I know people don't just want to hear question after question. I know you would want to hear that either. I mean, I have some experience, like, talking to people, but I didn't really get this, like, in a strict, like almost ebook style format.
Yeah, and another reason I wouldn't want to hang out with you is because you're Mr. Justifier, like a lot of students. Like, they're always trying to meet my expectations, showing that they don't give a shit about their own expectations. And I don't want to hang out with people that don't care about their expectations. For instance, if you liked a certain group and I like this group over here, and you're like, well, why do you like that group? And I like it because of this. And then you change your opinion all of a sudden because you don't want to offend me. It shows you don't care about your expectations. If you're justifying yourself for 2 hours about some, trivial point, I could tell right off the bat you don't care about your expectations. You give me this long-winded excuse, basically. It just sounds like an excuse to me when you start saying, well, this and that, well, I did this because of this, this, and this, and I don't want to do this. Why are you telling me that? Well, you don't want to look stupid in front of me. I know why you're doing that. So for you to just give this long-winded justification like it's going to make sense to me, and I'm going to, oh, that's why he said that. Oh, you guys don't realize that I am already versed in social interaction, so I know what you're doing. You're not really hiding anything from me. Social interaction is not like poker where you hide things. It's more like you just have to know how to look at them. If you have a little map, a little legend where it tells you what things mean, and you start talking to people, you'll instantly know what they're about. It's not like people can hide themselves while they're talking to you. I'm not hidden from you. It's just that you don't know how to read me. You are not hidden from me because I know how to read you. So everything falls under expectation management. If you just were to record a conversation and then map it out, you would see where you're justifying yourself, where the expectations are, where you're being punished, where you're showing, where you're rewarding. You would see all of that. And then if you could see all that, you would talk to people and know exactly what they're about. You wouldn't just listen to what they're saying. You would see how they're behaving and, what they're responding to, where they're justifying themselves. You'd see all of it. It's just like you're seeing The Matrix. I hate that stupid example, but that's what it would be like.
Yeah, I gotta figure you're just an ordinary man. You respond like things. I just gotta figure that out. I gotta get the experience, I guess.
It's just really the experience. It's the more you experience it, the more it's less, oh, it's so special, it's so new. No, it's a natural course. It's what should be happening when you're talking to people. Okay.
Yes. Right,
I don't think we're going to get through everything.
That answers my question.
Yes. Hello?
No, I said that completely answers my question.
Okay, good. Let's see. I think we're going to get through 2 more things, and maybe we'll continue tomorrow, or we'll continue never, but we got to end this by, I think, 8. Okay. So let's get to this topic. I'm going to post it in the forum here. I'm going to post it in the chat room so I can just click on it. You guys can click on it if you want to follow along. Jar requesting backup EM style. Jar. Fucking Jar. Okay. This EM report is, his reports are all over the place. Okay. Number 1 problem. How do we want to go over this? Let's just go over it. I don't want to cover it. I'm going to let you guys cover it. Okay. So who do we got? Blue, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Blue, did you click on the report yet?
No. Not even.
Do you plan on clicking on the report yet?
I will. Hold on. I'm not even on the Manhood website here. So.
Is your thing going to crash? Don't open it if your thing's going to crash.
I have 2 computers. I have one for the Skype and I have one for the Manhood.
Okay. Do you want to follow along, or are you just going to sit back? What do you want to do?
I'm going to follow along. Let me get on here.
Okay.
Go ahead and continue, so I'm not dragging the podcast.
You are dragging the podcast.
Okay.
You're going to start. You're going to be Jar. Torero?
Yes.
You're going to be your girl.
Yay.
And DBP and High School 101, you guys are going to be doing commentary.
Okay.
You're going to be doing brackets.
Porn? What's porn? What's that porn?
DBP. Yo.
Porn. The porn.
He drop out. He might be dead. He might be gone.
What?
Oh, I see him here.
Ghetto internet connection.
Okay, hold on. There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
You and HS.
Which one am I doing?
You guys are doing. Did you click on the link already?
Yeah, I'm reading it right now.
Okay, we're just going right to the very top of his post, and
wait, I'm just about to get there.
You guys are going to be doing
the brackets for.
Yeah,
Jar?
you and High School 101 are going to be doing brackets. Blue is going to be Jar, and Terrell is going to be the girl. Okay, one night I was out at a bar out with a friend at a Latino bar. Latinos, getting my Latino on. Okay, number 1, let's read the intro here. Guys, I've been stuck on this damn EM report for months because every student on here is a cocksucker who hasn't been helping me. It's really embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed because I don't value my expectations and I naturally think everybody's making fun of me. But I have to get this one right so that I can put myself on track with posting, damn it. It's been discouraging being rejected over and over and over and over again, especially by myself, because I multiply things in my mind and reject myself after everybody else rejects me. I could sure use a hand from the students who can get these things done properly. But of course the students are lazy cocksuckers and aren't helping me. I've just completed it with the best of my abilities to the up-to-date EM guidelines, even though I fucking didn't follow the EM guidelines. Please let me know what is wrong. I'll greatly appreciate it. Okay. One night, I was out at a friend at a Latino bar. He introduced me to a hot friend of his, a hot Latina. Conversation went as follows.
I really like your eyes. I like how your dark eyes go with your eyeliner.
No, my eyes are so boring.
Whoa. Slow down.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. I got ahead of myself.
No. We're going to bracket, guys.
Alright. You want me to just read the bracket or just my commentary?
How about High School 101 reads a bracket and your commentary on the bracket, because it's wrong, first of all, but go ahead. You guys are fixing brackets is what your job is.
Okay. High School, you read it.
She's punishing me through disagreement. She introduces a competing
You're supposed to be reading read first what he wrote and then fix it.
Okay, well, he wrote that.
Attempting to create. You should be at the very top.
Okay. Oh, okay. He wrote, attempting to create incentive by rewarding through praise/approval.
He's creating an incentive just through praise and approval. I think that's right. It just remove attempting, and I think it's correct.
Something's wrong. What's wrong?
Oh, yeah. He's not rewarding her. Because she didn't do anything worth rewarding.
No, what's wrong here?
Not a description of reaction?
No, approval should not be in there. Approval and disapproval are gone. That's a new update, but it shouldn't be in there.
So he's creating incentive through
praise.
Creating incentive through praise. Yes.
There you go. Remove approval, disapproval. I think it's talked about in the EM guidelines. I'm not sure, but it shouldn't be in there. We've already updated that. We're trying to make it as simple as possible. I think the ebook is already updated. There's no approval and disapproval in the ebook, so you shouldn't be talking about approval and disapproval. Yes, of course, it is referring to approval, but we're using praise to keep it simple.
Okay.
Girly.
No, my eyes are so boring.
She's punishing me through disagreement. She introduces a competing expectation.
And I think it's just she's punishing me through disagreement.
I mean, it sounds about right, but she introduces a competing expectation. That just sounds redundant to me.
Yeah, I don't see an expectation.
You don't see an
I think there is
expectation.
an expectation. It's just that she's disagreeing, so she's already stating her expectation, so it's already kind of implied.
Yes. Everything you do has an expectation to it. Everybody has an expectation by default. There's no such thing as a non-expectation or where somebody doesn't have an expectation. Either they're taking your expectation or they have their expectation. But there's always an expectation somewhere. So his expectation is, hey, I really like your eyes. He's trying to compliment her, right? He's trying to get a kiss or something. I like how dark your eyes are, right? So he's basically saying, hey, here's my compliment for you. She says, no, my eyes are boring. So she's basically just kind of snubbing his compliment in the sense that she's really just fishing for a compliment. She's fishing for, some praise. So girls will commonly do this.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm so this, I'm so that. No, I'm dumb. You think I'm dumb, right? And they really want you to say, no, you're smart, right? Same thing. No, you don't like my eyes. They're lame. No, your eyes are so beautiful, right? They're fishing. This is called the fisherman's wharf. It's a common thing girls do.
So should we just say,
you don't need to, no, because I don't want you to fucking recognize the technique, the mannerism, whatever you want to call it. Just handle it according to EM. Yeah, so this is basically just violating your expectation. Yeah, I don't think it's even helpful to know that girls do this. It's such a common thing, but I think it's more important just to understand the EM part of it. So understanding that she's trying to fish for a compliment becomes irrelevant. Because at the base level, she's still violating your expectation, whether she's fishing for it or not. But in a general sense, if you want to know what's going on, she's so insecure, basically. She feels good when you give her compliments, when you praise her. So she's trying to fish for them by saying, no, I'm not this, I'm not that, because she knows that most guys are pussies and go, oh no, you're so special, you're so wonderful, right? She's just used to doing that. So it's just a common way for a girl to fish for compliments, to fish for praise, etc. And of course, Jar is like...
Pretty much you should pretty much just stick to the observation, just what he sees and his interpretations, along with a little ebook reading. It shouldn't go deep into it and say, oh, this girl's doing this girl's doing that.
No, I wasn't referring to the EM report. I was just saying, how should you react when a girl does that?
You should just handle it just according to the same way. It's just basic regardless of what she's doing, EM applies. So it doesn't matter what she's doing, whether she, right now when this girl's doing that, I know she's fishing for a compliment. It doesn't matter. So basically she's violating his expectation. Like if she likes his compliment, he should be able to say, hey, look, take my compliment. You gotta learn how to appreciate a guy complimenting you. Even though she is basically just fishing for a compliment, but regardless, just say you want her to appreciate your compliment and say thank you. The goal is not to mind read. The goal is to do your EM report. The goal is to manage your expectations, not to mind read. So regardless of whether you knew what was going on or not, you should still handle the situation the same way.
Yeah.
EM is retard proof. It's designed for you to not have to mind read and know what a girl is doing. Jar.
Alright, so...
Okay, that's not true. I really think they are beautiful.
I'm punishing her by disagreeing, followed by improper justification, by trying to explain myself over without her submission. I think he's not really punishing her at all. He's just explaining.
He's attempting to punish her, followed by an improper justification.
Okay.
You could say that, but
technically, okay. I mean, we're getting kind of technical here. Like, technically, yes, he is punishing her, but it's not really a punishment because he's complimenting. So
because he's really giving her incentive.
Yeah, but we're just going to handle this like an EM report. So it's fine. He is punishing her.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to kiss you.
Stating expectation. Yeah, don't see
You got
anything
that
wrong
right.
with that.
You got that right. Congratulations, Jar. Girl.
I don't think we are able to yet.
Introduces new retarded social expectation. I mean, you could say, okay, it's her expectation. Just to be more specific to that, but yeah. It's like 90% right.
It's not 90% right.
Via rejection. She's punishing with rejection.
Yes. Is it a...
I don't think we are able to yet. That's rejection.
It's a punishing with rejection. Okay, is it a retarded social expectation?
Yes. Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. Why is it not a retarded social expectation?
Because she doesn't know him and she doesn't have enough incentive.
Yes, she doesn't know him. She just met him. He really shouldn't be. In a perfect world, an ideal situation, he shouldn't be kissing her right now. He just met her. But this is a bar, and it's we have all kinds of retarded social expectations floating around. So this is perfectly fine as long as he can get his expectation met. So it's not really a social expectation, it's her expectation.
Right.
It's most girls' expectations to not just immediately kiss you. If you try to immediately kiss any other girl, in any other setting, and even other girls in the bar, they would all pretty much be like, oh, wait a second, that's way too quick. Even if they liked you. So it's not just a retarded social expectation, it's her expectation, and it's a valid expectation. But he's about to violate it because he can't. What's that?
Yeah, well, what if you're like a rapist or you keep people in the back of your van or something? I mean...
Irrelevant, but anyway. If he can get his expectation met, he can get it met. Next person. Jar.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Wake up, Jar! Wake the fuck up, Jar! Go, Jar, you fuck!
Can you answer me?
Yes.
Yes, we can
Wake up, go.
All right. It doesn't matter what you say. Before the end of the night, I'm going to kiss you.
Oh, what a rapist. Okay, keep going.
I'm punishing through ignoring her expectation, also restating my expectation.
Yeah, same. I think that one's also right.
But isn't ignoring, not even acknowledging it?
That's a punishment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
so
he ignoring her?
So
Yes or no? Is he
punishing
ignoring
her
her?
through ignoring?
Ignoring can only be a punishment in context if she values him in some way, if she has enough incentive.
Is he ignoring her? Is he ignoring her, Torero? Yes or no?
Well, he's ignoring the expectation, but at the same time, he's sort of addressing
Is he ignoring her according to the ebook? According to how we're supposed to fucking do this? We're not doing student personal context EM reports. We're doing it according to the guidelines, according to the ebook. Is he ignoring her? According to how this is stated here.
Yes.
No.
Oh, damn.
Who
He's
knows
ignoring her
why he's not
expectation.
ignoring her expectation?
Wait, could you repeat that?
Who knows why he's not ignoring her expectation?
Because she's saying it doesn't matter what you say. So
Yes, he's acknowledging the expectations there. He's obviously not ignoring it. If you tell me, hey, ask me, say, hey, Professor Plum, let's go to Del Taco.
Hey, Hey, Professor Plum, let's go to Del Taco.
Okay, everybody get in the car. Let's go to In-N-Out. Let's go.
That's ignoring.
Did I ignore Torero's expectation?
Yes.
How do
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
How do you know
Because
I...
you didn't acknowledge me.
Because I
You didn't
didn't...
take the time to say, oh, we're not going to Del Taco.
Yes, because I didn't acknowledge his expectation. I didn't even mention it. That is ignoring.
So I guess he didn't even punish her.
He
It
rejected
doesn't
her.
matter what you say.
Yeah, no,
I guess
he
in a sense he
rejected her
rejected her,
expectation.
so he is punishing her. But he doesn't know what he's doing, so we're just clarifying it right now. He's not ignoring her. He's acknowledging her expectation by saying it doesn't matter what you say. He's acknowledging that he doesn't understand what ignore means. Before the end of the night, I'm going to kiss you. Stating his expectation. So he's punishing her still by rejecting her, what she said, right? Said it doesn't matter what you say.
Yes.
But he's punishing not by ignoring, but by what?
By rejection.
Yes. Okay, next. Girl, wake up.
Girl?
Yeah, I like guys who are stubborn.
Nope.
What?
It was before that. It's like, I'm not sure we will.
Oh,
It's that
man.
part.
I'm not sure we will, but you seem pretty stubborn.
She's punishing me by kind of disagreeing. She then rewards me with a candid reaction. Huh?
I think
Doesn't sound
she's just punishing him via rejection.
Okay. Yes.
But isn't the but you seem kind of stubborn, sort of like giving in a little bit?
Yes, she is. She's definitely she said, in a nutshell, I'm gonna kiss you. How do you know?
Because she left the door open.
Yes. She already said, I'm not sure we will, which means is irrelevant, but you seem pretty stubborn.
Yeah, she's just throwing it back on the guy.
If you say, hey, I want to fuck you, and the girl goes, you're a fucking creep, I'm out of here, and she leaves, is she gonna fuck you?
Nope.
No.
If you go, hey, I'm gonna fuck you, but she goes, you're not supposed to say that to me. So where are you from? Are you gonna fuck her?
Yes.
Yup.
Yes, because she
Yes.
just left the door open. She
Yes.
couldn't leave. If she didn't want to fuck you, she would have left. She was really offended, she would have left. Same thing here. I'm not sure we will, but you seem pretty stubborn. She's already saying, I'm gonna kiss you. Just I don't want to make it seem like I'm a slut, or I don't want to, I don't want to lose my social status. But basically, she's saying, yeah, you seem pretty stubborn. Who has control over whether she's gonna kiss him or whether she's gonna allow him to kiss him or not? Who has control over that?
She does.
He does.
So he's the
He does.
rapist does.
She does.
No,
He has control.
She doesn't
So you're saying Jar has control because he's holding the knife. Is that what you're saying?
No, she has to give consent.
Yeah, she has to give consent to say,
No,
I'm
by
going to be
sin.
kissed by you. So what is her saying? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not sure we will, but you seem pretty stubborn. You seem like you're going to force me to kiss you. Why is she saying that?
Because she
She
wants
wants to have it both ways. She
What?
wants to have it
No,
both
she
ways.
wants to kiss him, but not look like a slut,
Yes.
like you said.
It's
She wants to make it
her father was
seem
not
like-
ability.
She wants to put the responsibility on him. You got to remember, girls don't want responsibility. Girls don't want to be responsible for their decision. They want to put the responsibility on you. You're the guy. You're designed for that responsibility. That's why she wants to always pass it on to you. So it's like, oh, I don't want to kiss you, but you're so stubborn. I don't know if I can resist. I don't know. Your knife is so big, right? He has no knife. He's not going to force her. She has to ultimately give in. She has to ultimately consent. So she's just trying to make it so that she can have an excuse. So ultimately she's saying, yeah, okay, this is the point where all right, she's in. So right here, he already knows she's in. Well, he doesn't know, but we know. If you know how to read things, right? If you know how to read people, if you know how to read what they're saying, well, obviously she's saying, right, I'm not sure we will, but you seem so stubborn. Obviously she has a choice, but if she's saying, you seem so stubborn, it's implying that,
She's saying,
well, it's not
she's
implying,
saying
well,
yes, but she doesn't want to.
yeah, she doesn't want to say
responsible.
yes directly. So that's what she's saying.
Yes.
And she hasn't left. So we're just reading her behavior. Like all things, like all expectation management, we're not reading what people say, we're reading their behavior.
Yes. Especially with women. Never believe a woman's words. Believe her actions.
There we go. Okay. Jar.
I get what I want.
Yeah, I like guys who are stubborn.
Hold up. Jar. Brackets.
Ever said
There are no brackets.
There are no brackets.
Good for you. Who's the brackets people?
Me, there's only brackets on the girl. Rewarding me for
Fuck.
creating his expectation.
Hold on. Fuck.
Where are we at?
Jar.
Are we at? Okay, we're at Jar.
I like to get what I
He doesn't
want.
put brackets, so.
So that means there's no brackets, right? Because
yeah,
Jar knows what the
expectation.
fuck he's doing with his EM report, right?
Yeah.
Torero. There's no brackets, so there shouldn't be brackets, right? Because Jar knows what he's doing, right?
The brackets are missing.
Torero,
Yes.
listen to my question. Jar didn't put brackets at the end of what he said because he knows what he's doing and he knows how to write an EM report, correct?
Incorrect.
Incorrect, right. That's the correct answer. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, so we don't care, right? We have to look at our expectations first. Are we letting Jar run the podcast?
No.
No.
He should.
Are we looking at Jar and going, oh, this is the model EM report?
No.
No. Let's
He's
fucking look
asking
at
for
our
our help.
let's look at our expectations first. Okay? Let's look at what are our expectations based on, Torero?
Our expectations?
Yes, what are they based on when we're reading this report?
They're based on our needs.
No. Well, yes, ultimately, but we're looking for a more specific answer. Blue, what are our expectations based on when we're reading this report?
That we fix this expectation report.
Right, but what are those things based on? What is our fixing based on?
It's
How would we
based
know
on
how to
that.
fix it? We have to have a guideline, right, somewhere?
Yeah.
So what would they be based on?
I don't think I understand.
Okay,
I thought
if we're gonna
guidelines.
correct this report, how would we know how to correct it? There's got to be some guideline somewhere, right?
The EM guidelines.
Blue?
Yeah, there has to be guidelines. So our expectation is that this expectation management report ultimately follows the EM guidelines.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so Jar, read it once again. Who's Jar?
I like to get what I want.
Bracket people?
There are no brackets, and he should,
There are no
he should have just said, I think it should have just said, seeing expectation.
Okay, do you agree, other bracket guy?
Yes.
Okay, girl?
Yeah, I like guys who are stubborn.
Rewarding me through approval.
That's right.
Eh.
Hold on. I'm gonna figure this out.
Can anybody help the bracket people? Anybody know the answer?
Praise, not approval.
Yeah, Terrell, I love Terrell.
Uh,
Fucking Terrell was a man. I wish Terrell wasn't a girl. I wish he was the bracket guy.
That was me.
Yes,
Someone else said that.
I know. Terrell's a pro.
That's all I'm kidding. Alright.
Oh, who said that? Wait, that wasn't Terrell? Who said that?
that was blue.
Oh, Blue. Oh, sorry, Terrell. I take back your
I sent him
compliment.
a PM telling him what to say.
That's Blue.
Okay.
Blue's a pro. Rewarding through
Alright.
praise. Okay. Yeah, I like guys who are stubborn. Okay. Jar.
Rewarding me through approval. It should be
I
praise.
have an idea. Let's make a bet. If I kiss you, you have to do something for me. If I don't end up kissing you, then I'll end up having to do something for you.
Okay.
Introducing new expectation. So, I'd say that's
justifying-
right, but he's not being definite.
Yeah.
Anybody want to help the bracket guys out?
He's haggling over his
Mhm.
expectation.
Oh, he's introducing competing expectations.
Okay.
He's saying, I want to kiss
No,
you,
I
but
think they're both his.
well, think about it. He wants to kiss her, but he's saying, well, but if you win the bet, if you don't kiss me, you win the bet. That's like counterproductive.
Okay, but I think he's
Justifying
also
himself.
waffling. He's like giving her the option. He's just waffling between his
He's
expectations.
basically introducing a way out. So he's trying to get it, but be creative, or whatever. But basically, he's just saying, hey, my expectation doesn't matter, so let's try to do it a different way.
Okay.
Okay.
He's basically trying to shoot himself in the foot. She's already on board, but he's just being stupid. Okay, so yeah, all right. So what's the bracket guy's verdict?
Justifying himself.
Bracket does what?
Yes, what's the bracket guy's verdict? What's your guys' verdict? What do you say? How say you?
Justifying himself.
Yes. How do you know he's justifying himself, Torero?
Because he's rationalizing. He's not really restating his expectations.
Whenever you hear willing and dilling explanations, that's kind of your clue that you're justifying.
Alright, yeah. Okay, so
Next, girl.
what are you going to do for me if I win?
Stating expectation that follows my expectation. Okay, she's not stating an expectation. She's asking a question. She's asking Jar what his expectation is.
Correct or incorrect,
Anyone?
Blue?
Anyone?
Let's see, what are you gonna do? I would say, yeah, she's asking a question by asking him.
So she has no expectation, right?
Yeah.
Is that
No,
correct,
he has an
Torero?
expectation.
Well, everyone has an expectation.
Oh, that's why I let Torero. Torero's the smartest guy in here. Everybody else just failed.
What do you say?
Torero.
Semi-correct?
Torero, congratulations on not failing the question.
Thank you.
Let me ask again. Does she have an expectation in this question, High School 101?
yes, she does. She wants him to do something, but she's asking because she doesn't want to state it. So she's like,
Blue.
Take responsibility.
Blue.
Yeah.
Does she have an expectation?
Yes, she has an expectation.
You sure?
Everyone has an expectation.
DVP.
Yes, she has an expectation.
You haven't heard the question yet.
Okay, go ahead.
Does she have an expectation?
Yes, she has an expectation.
All right, so
Ask-
you second
ask
guessed
me.
me. Torero, does she have an expectation?
Let me think about this for a second.
Okay, you think about it.
Yes.
While he's thinking about it, can we get to the brackets? Come on, bracket people.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I just don't know what to put in the brackets.
Anybody know what to put in the brackets?
Stating expectation.
No, it's not stating expectation. It's asking a question about what's going to happen because she doesn't know.
And then she's sort of rewarding with some compliance if she's going along instead of like, no, that's not a good bet. That would be rejecting. Instead of she's saying, all right, well, what are you gonna do for me?
I don't know. This is
Just
kind of a
asking a
gray area.
question.
Anything could go
Yeah,
here. It could be
sure.
stating expectation. It could be like, I don't know. She's trying to meet his. She's agreeing with him, so she's, agreeing, rewarding by agreeing.
Maybe it's just that I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't really necessarily need a bracket, I don't think, but it could. Everything could have a bracket by it, but it's kind of irrelevant right now. Keep going.
Or you could just put I don't know.
Or you can put I don't know. Jar.
Do you have a car?
Justification, trying to bend to her expectation by disregarding my expectation. This justification was also very wrong. I'm not sure what's justification. He's just asking, or maybe he's trying to read her mind, because he doesn't really know what she wants. And she doesn't even know what she wants, really.
I agree.
Everybody else agree?
Yeah, because he's trying to kind of dodge the minefield.
Everybody else agree?
How many A's?
Yeah.
Yay or nay? Go.
Yay or nay?
Do you have a car? Yeah,
Any dissenters?
Blue?
I'd say he's justifying himself.
Torero?
But he doesn't know what he's justifying himself to.
Torero?
Well, isn't it sort of introducing your expectation?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to this one.
I don't know.
Next. Girl?
Yes.
Punishing you through disapproval, she does not need to be driven around the city. Yeah, obviously, she's not disapproving if she's saying yes, but she's saying yes in kind of a fleeting
It's her
way.
attitude.
She
So
doesn't
it's still
know
a
what he wants.
punishment.
Isn't she complying by answering the question?
This is so simple. She's just complying by answering the question. Because we're reading so much into this stuff. She's not a rocket scientist. She's not playing chess with him.
You're moved, Jar.
So yeah, answering the question.
Fuck.
That's the question. Is just yes, submitting to me. That's what it should say.
Answering the question. That's all it should
Answering
say.
the question. Who knows? It's not chess game every time.
She's not planning some evil plot?
She's not. There's no evil plot in this bracket yet. Punishing through disapproval by not wanting to be driven around the city. How does he fucking
Plot
know
is not
this?
thinking.
I have tears in my eyes. This
If
is
there's, you don't know something, just put, I don't know. I didn't even know what it was until he just read this, because he just all of a sudden said, do you have a car? I didn't realize he meant, I thought he was like, do you want to drive home or something? I didn't realize he meant he wanted to give her a car. I just realized it like just right now, but I don't care about that. It's just like, it's confusing to me. If I don't understand it, or if it's just not, you can put you don't understand. Or, in this case, he understood it, but even now that I understand what he's talking about, it's like all this, where she says, yes, punishing me through disapproval, that she doesn't need to be driven around the city. It's like reading so much into it. Don't read into things.
Yeah.
It's like saying, what the fuck are you doing with the car, bitch?
Yeah, there's yes, we can kind of imply things if we see a pattern, like when up above where she's going, no, you don't think my smile's that great. We could see that, okay, she's fishing for compliments, but even that is reading into it, and we don't even need to read into that. So we don't even need to know that. So you don't need to read into things here.
Okay.
Handle them at face value. And again, that's like girls like to be, super sneaky with their sarcasm and stuff. The best way to defeat sarcasm, just take it at face value. Just answer it at face value. Okay. Where are we?
Jar. No, if you kiss me, it's that one.
No. You kiss me, then that is the prize that you have won.
Introducing new expectation. Yeah, I think he's pretty much got it there. He's telling her what she's going to get, so that set her on his expectation. So yeah.
And she's punishing him at the same time.
How do you know he's punishing her?
Because he said no.
He said no if you kiss
Who's
me.
the brilliant guy who said that?
No, rejecting her expectation.
Who's the brilliant guy who said that?
DBP.
No, who said no? Somebody just yelled out no.
Oh, no, he's just answering the
Yeah, I
question.
said
That's all he's
Who
doing.
just yelled out no?
I did.
Who's I did?
Blue.
Blue. Good job. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm the prize here.
She's punishing me through disagreement. Also, stating a newer expectation. I think he's got it because
Yep.
she's disagreeing, and she wants to be the prize, and she's pretty upfront about that. So yeah,
I concur with high school.
Sweet.
Agree.
Okay, next.
No, I'm the prize.
no, we already said that. You're on
No,
Jar.
he said it again.
Oh, sorry, it's the same line. I'm sorry. So Jar on the prize. I'm punishing her through disagreement, then reinforcing my expectation. Yeah, it's solid.
Same.
Girl.
Gives a very deadly stare.
Deadly.
Punishing me through disapproval.
Correct? Or not correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Wrong.
Rejecting?
Yes, who said that?
Torero.
Torero's fucking brilliant. Nobody ever catches that. I'm so surprised. It's like, he's done this 2,000 times already. Okay, next.
What did I even write these? Okay, Jar.
Fine, we can both be the prize, but it's different for girls.
What?
Wow, I justified myself again. What's new? I have disregarded my expectation to accommodate hers. She can't submit to expectations that I don't care about.
He inappropriately justified himself without first establishing his authority.
Yeah, she bitched him by giving him a deadly stare, so yeah, I'd say it's justification. So yeah, I'd say he's pretty much on the money.
Okay. Girly. Deadly stare, blah, blah,
Gives
blah.
the same glaring stare again.
Jar.
So, if we are both a
Oh wait, I didn't read the...
Who cares? Jar.
So, if we are both a prize, why haven't we kissed yet?
I tried to punish her through ignoring her disapproval. I then stated the original expectation.
Asking a question.
He's rationalizing now.
Yeah, he's justifying himself.
He's trying to reason with her.
What's that called, Torero?
Justification.
What's that called, Torero?
Justification?
Sweet. Are you asking me a question? Or are you telling
No.
me?
I'm telling you.
What's it called?
Justification.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Concur.
Yes.
I hope you guys are right, because I'm not even paying attention. Keep going.
Okay.
I haven't done anything. You're the one holding yourself back.
Stating new expectation, but also rewarding me through agreement. I think that, yeah, that's wrong, because, okay, maybe she has an expectation, but she's not stating an expectation, and, she's not agreeing, obviously. She's disputing him. She's arguing.
She's punishing him. She's punishing him with a scolding.
Yeah, exactly. So she's...
You are the one holding yourself back. She's scolding him. So that's what it is, a punishment.
There you go.
Jar?
You are right. I should just lean in then.
Stating expectation. No, he's not. He's going along with her expectation.
Yeah, he's a puss is what's happening.
Hmm.
He's like, you're right, I should kiss you. Good job. I thought it was my expectation. Turns out it was yours.
I was liking this girl at the beginning, but now I'm not.
Tries to kiss, but sexy girl slightly ducks away.
Oh,
Repeating
rejection.
expectation of not kissing due to God-forsaken reasons. I think the reasons
Because
aren't
you gave her
God-forsaken.
you gave her the responsibility to make a decision. That's why.
So that's obviously wrong. Then Jar again?
See, I'm not the problem here. It's you. You're the one ducking away.
Punishing her through disapproval.
Yep.
He's punishing a little bit, but he's pretty much justifying.
Yeah.
It's like he feels, oh, I'm in trouble. Oh, she's scolding me, so now he's trying to
just
justify her.
justifying himself.
Yeah. So then Torero laugh.
Jar.
Lean
Jar,
in, kiss,
see,
and
I'm
turn
not the
it.
problem here. It's you. You're the one ducking away. Bracket people. What's the verdict?
She's justifying. I mean, he's justifying himself.
I second that.
Everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Second motion.
Anybody want to give a different answer? The right answer?
Let's see here.
He's punishing her with a scolding.
Anybody want to give a different answer? The right answer?
He's justifying, because he thinks he's in trouble, and now
Anybody want to give a
explain
different answer? The right answer?
himself.
Somebody said it. They were actually right. I just said they were wrong.
Blue?
Justify himself.
No?
Ah, god damn it.
Blue?
Can we rewind the tape?
I said justification.
Well, he is justifying, but he's also doing something else.
Oh.
Is he punishing her through scolding?
How can you tell? Why are you fucking asking me a question? Shouldn't you be able to know this? How would you know this?
Because he's scolding her by saying, "You're the one ducking away."
The problem
It's you. See, you're the problem.
It's you.
Who said that?
Torero.
How do you know Torero's bright?
Because he gets all the questions right.
Because he got the fucking right answer. See, I'm not the problem. It's you. What if I say you're the problem? You're a problem. What is that doing? What am I doing if I say you're a problem?
You're scolding us.
Yes. So what's that called?
Tara's
If I'm scolding
the
you, what is that?
You're punishing us.
Yes. So he can be overlapping. He can be doing two things at once, but ultimately he's punishing. He's saying, see, I'm not the problem. It's you. Yes, he's being stupid and justifying himself, but he's still attempting to punish. And he is punishing because he's saying, it's you. You're the problem. But he's trying to reason with her.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be saying, see, I'm not the problem. You're the problem here. That's all he needs to say.
Okay.
Stop being the problem.
That
Stop
makes
being
sense.
so difficult. But he's going about it his way because he's trying to reason with her. He's getting common trick, right? Thinking he can reason with a kid. Common, not trick. Common problem. But eventually, he's punishing her. He's saying you're the problem. You're the one ducking away. So he's scolding her, and you're the one ducking away. What would that be? You're the one ducking away. Well, yeah, but basically just scolding.
Yeah.
Everybody get that?
Yes.
He's explaining, but yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
Next, girly laughing about the situation. Jar.
Leans in to kiss, and it finally fucking happens.
Expectation met.
So
Yeah,
he punished her not kissing, and then he got the kiss. Too bad he didn't figure that out. Oh wait, maybe he did. That's not the problem. Yeah, he did figure it out. Punishing her through disapproval. Well, not disapproval, but scolding.
Yes.
Good job, Jar. Good job. Okay, 8. Whew, we made it. All right, and we haven't even covered this whole line of other stuff. We're gonna have to continue this podcast. Wow, that was a marathon. Good job, you guys. I was proud of you guys. Took a while, but
Sweaty.
can we get through one more? Anybody want to do one more, or should we end it? I got one more
Let's
here.
go. One more. Let's do it. 2 points away.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're gonna do one last one. Last one. Here we go. I'm gonna post it.
Alright guys, gotta go. Talk to you later.
Someone else gotta go later. Okay,
Wait, which one?
I posted it in the chat room. That's our last one.
Oh, man.
It's lighter than
Second
air.
one?
Lighter than air. He asks.
I'm starting to have fun with this now, actually.
I'm glad you're having fun. We need to get you on another podcast. Okay, so Lighter Than Air made a post about the nerd asks. Everybody on there?
Yeah.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is the nerd speak. Okay, Torero, go ahead and read it.
This is the nerd speaking, and the nerd has had this question since day one. We are to have and enforce expectations. Yes, yes. Among the example expectations
Can you
given
read
in
it
many of
crazy
our-
like Lighter Than Air intended it? Because this guy is nuts. You gotta read it like him.
I don't think I've heard the guy speak once in a while, but
Blue.
among
Mental
the
patient.
Blue.
blue.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Continue at we are.
Yeah.
Did I sound too sweet?
We are to have and enforce expectations. Yes, yes. Among the example expectations given in many of our expression lists is, for example, I expect women to fear and love my authority. Not bad. Not at all horrible. Men and women loving each other for real. Down home style. That's a good.
Fuck, that's so terrible. High School 101, read that sentence.
Starting from not bad?
Not bad.
Let me talk. Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not at all horrible. Men and women loving each other for real. Down home style. That's a good thing. But only 5% of women, whatever comes across, are going to love and fear authority. What appears to logically follow is that we're going to go around punishing most women we ever see for not fearing, not loving our authority. That can't be correct, but I can't understand it otherwise. So yes, I really am asking this. What am I missing? Where, for you, is the line where you allow yourself to walk away and let your expectations go unmet by others? Thank you, as ever.
Okay.
Now,
Deadly nerd
I
style.
have tears in my eyes. That was beautiful, high school. Thank you.
thank you, Dad.
Any comment? Anybody have the answer to this?
Well,
Well,
okay, I just want to say what he fucked up on from the beginning. He says, we are to have and enforce expectations. Expectations are default. They're default. We always have them. So he's like saying we are to have and enforce them. I think that's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like saying, I choose to have needs. I always have
I
needs.
choose to have a penis, guys.
We have to have
I choose to be hungry.
and enforce expectations. Okay, so basically he has expectations, but they're just so either he doesn't realize it or they're just wrong. They're just bad expectations, dysfunctional expectations, not meeting expectations that don't meet his needs.
And to answer his question, okay, where for you is the line where you allow yourself to walk away and let your expectations go unmet by others?
Tornado, what's your comment? What's your comment on that? What DVP just said about what he just read.
What sentence was that?
It starts at what am I missing, and then the sentence under that.
Well, let's start here. Not bad. I expect women to fear and love my authority. Not bad. Not at all horrible. Men and women loving each other for real, down home style. That's a good thing. But only a fraction of the women one ever comes across are going to love and fear your authority. What appears to logically follow is that we're to go around punishing most women we ever see for not fearing and loving our authority. That can't be correct, but I can't understand it otherwise.
It sounds like he wants to. It's not. I just get the feeling of incompetence. Like once we're competent,
he doesn't have incentive.
Yeah. But I'm saying once we're competent at this, more women should have incentive to actually love and fear our authority rather than.
Okay, but he's saying only a fraction of the women you meet. I guess what he's saying here, whoever you come across, like let's say 1/8, one out of every 100 women. Okay, let's say 1 out of 10 women is going to love or fear your authority.
Incentive out of the other 99.
Or are you referring to the ebook where you said instead of trying to find a needle in a haystack, you should be able to train them?
Yes, that's exactly right. So he's saying only a fraction of the women you come across are going to love and fear his authority. What's that mean? How does he even know that?
Because he doesn't know what authority. He doesn't know what love is. He doesn't know what he's doing. So how is he even going to judge whether they love and fear his authority or not?
Okay, well, here's the thing. If they're not loving his authority, they should be at least fearing his authority. So, either they should be loving him or hating him. So if he's having interactions with women and the majority of them are not loving him, then they should be hating him. I don't mean it literally like that. I mean it like they should be thinking something about him. They shouldn't have I don't know what to think about this guy. It shouldn't be. Okay. It shouldn't be a question mark like, oh, this guy is, just a waiter to me. Like I don't have an opinion about the waiter. I don't hate the waiter. I don't love the waiter. No, you should never be a waiter to some girl you're talking to. Number one, if you're a waiter to a girl, that means you're not punishing her. If you're talking to somebody and they have no opinion about you, that means you're not punishing. That also means you're not leading. That means you're not telling them what they should be doing. This means you're just reacting to the conversation. You're just going along with their expectations. If they have no opinion about you, especially no negative or positive opinion about you, this is evidence that you are not enforcing your expectations. It appears to logically follows that we are to go around punishing most women we ever see for not fearing or loving our authority. Okay? That can't be correct, but I can't understand it otherwise. So he's kind of asking what does it mean to punish is what he's saying. Is like he's seeing it as, well, if this girl isn't meeting my expectation, I should punch her in the face. Does that mean that?
No.
What does it mean?
Punishment.
Is he correct in saying what appears to logically follow is that we're to go around punishing most women we see for not fearing and loving our authority?
No.
He's wondering about the incentive.
Yeah.
Also.
What's high school said.
Yeah. This is correct. He should be punishing most women that he goes around seeing.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
He's also forgetting that he
has
needs
to
be
have
giving
the
them
other side.
incentive.
He has to follow the whole rule.
So, and when he says punishing, what his fear is that, he's basically looking at punishment as punching him in the face, because this is how he's looking at it. If I say, High School 101, fix your tie, it's not on properly, am I punishing you?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. But not all punishment is going to be, hey, High School 101, stop trying to steal my wall, I got to punch you in the face now. Is that punishing you?
Yes.
Yes.
But it does not need to be that punishment.
There are different degrees of punishment.
It needs to be merited.
Yes.
Well, it seems like he's worried about causing them psychological distress.
Yes.
He's afraid of abuse.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's not understanding the context that punishment can be anything from me correcting you, me disapproving of you, me ignoring you, me punching you, me scolding you. It could take many different forms. So to say you're punishing people and or you should go around punishing people, yes, but you have to understand you also need to go around rewarding people. You need to be praising them. You need to be giving them direction. You need to be giving them guidance. You need to be giving them an incentive to talk to you. So yes, you should go around punishing people, but you need to understand, number one, what punishment means, and you need to go around rewarding people. So that also means you don't understand what it means to give people incentive to want to meet your expectations, to want to love and fear your authority.
This reminds me of the criticism from the feminists who focus solely on the pain part of the ebook. They
Yes,
don't focus on
when they see
providing
pain,
incentive.
yeah, when they see applying a pain, that's why we kind of change it to punishment. But even, in either case, if they don't read the definition, they're going to take it away as, oh, you need to
Or if they
smack
don't
a
read
woman.
the whole rule. They just see that part and then they fly off the handle without thinking.
Yes, they
so
see
you're
apply
enforcing that,
pain.
huh?
And then they're thinking of guys like lighter than air. It's like, oh, look at this guy. He's taking a punch to someone in the face. Of course, these guys are violent. All guys who want to punish women, who want to get them to submit. Of course, they're abusers.
So it's a misunderstanding of what is going on, what it means to punish, what it means to reward.
Plum, is a threat a punishment? I know this is a little off topic, but I'm just
A
curious.
threat. I would say that would go under a dysfunctional punishment, but it
Okay.
would be a punishment. Like I would say, I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to punch you if you do that. I would
Yeah,
say
but
that's.
not if you follow through. If you don't follow through, right?
I would
Yeah,
say in
me
either
and-
case it's
me
a
and Soul
punishment,
were
but
talking
one is,
about that.
let's say I'm going to spank you. You're stealing something. If I threaten you, I'm like, hey, I'm going to spank you if you do that again. Or, if I actually spank you, I would say one or the other would be, depending on if you did it or not. Like, when I think of a threat, like, hey, if you do that, I'm going to kill you. That's a dysfunctional punishment. It's still a punishment because I'm saying something that is, I'm scolding you because you're doing something wrong. Why would I threaten you unless you're doing something I didn't like? So obviously you're doing something wrong, so I'm just kind of scolding you with a threat. Okay, I'm going to punch you in the face if you do that.
Yeah.
But that's also dysfunctional because I shouldn't be threatening you. I should be punishing you. If you're doing something that's violating my expectation, I should be punishing you. But
Okay, well,
I shouldn't. It shouldn't get to the point where I'm. If I'm threatening you and for general, in general, that means I'm not enforcing my expectations. Because why do I need to threaten you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Snow Leopard was telling me a story about he was in line for a bank and some chick tried to cut in line and then she tried to get him to move and then he told her, if you touch me again, I'm going to punch you in the face. So that's why I asked.
Well, that's a punishment. You should. Yeah, you should be telling her, look, don't touch me. You don't know me. Don't push me. And that's that. In that case, I would say, okay, great. In an ideal situation, you just backhand her, but obviously you could be arrested. But he's at least giving her a warning. Hey, don't fucking touch me.
Yeah, also, it's like the very first time she doesn't know Snow Leopard, so she doesn't know whether he's
Yeah,
doing
she's already violating his expectations by grabbing him or putting her hands on him. She's a girl. She shouldn't be grabbing him. He should be like, get the fuck off of me and pushing your hands off, right? Don't touch me.
So then she wouldn't want to obey his threat anyway.
I'm sorry, what?
So then she wouldn't want to obey his threat anyway. I mean, if she's already doing that, then she's not going to.
Yeah, she's already in a dysfunctional position by already fucking putting her hands on her. But he went to a little extreme there and saying, "Hey, if you do that again, I'm going to knock you out," or something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's already a dysfunctional situation. It's like a dead hooker situation. Should I bury her or dissolve her body in acid? It's already fucked by the time she's putting her hands on you. But I mean, what can you do? He's already in a dysfunctional situation already, where a girl feels that she can already grab him. That's already a pretty bad situation.
She just butted in front of him.
Yeah, she shouldn't be butting in front of him, and then she shouldn't be trying to move him by putting her hands on him. She's like, get the fuck off of me. You should be very stern with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though he didn't give her incentive, he still went about it the right way? That's what you're saying?
I guess so, because, I mean, I might have gone, like, if a girl's cutting in front of me, and I'm moving in front of her, and she tries to put her hand on me, I would just shove her. I'd get the fuck off of me. I'd be very, like, stern with her.
Yeah. Okay, good.
The best way to handle that is to not... to let her cut, but you know what can I say? Sometimes it's like we don't always care for the most functional situation. It's just like you students, you're doing something wrong. Do I go get the fuck off the forum? You fucked up again? This is the second time you did it?
Yeah.
Or should I just make accommodations for your fuck ups because you're not in condition yet to meet my expectations?
Okay, then I just wanted to get that out of the way because in cases like that where the person doesn't respect your authority because that's your first time meeting them, I was just wondering how to handle a situation like that.
How to handle what situation?
Where it's because she doesn't have a reason to listen to him.
Right, no incentive. So
Exactly.
just let her cut.
Just let her cut?
Just let her cut. It's not life or death, is it?
No, but don't you still have your expectations?
No, but it makes me angry. I want to punch her in the face.
Well, I guess you punch her in the face and gamble on the consequences.
Okay, so the functional thing to do is to just let her cut.
Maybe you might say something to her, but I mean, it's like why hassle with it? Yes, it's your expectation. It's your expectation for her not to cut, for people not to cut, but it's not a life or death thing. And she's she's dysfunctional. She doesn't have the training to meet your expectations. So it's almost like a lost cause. You're not going to see her again. So it's not like, it's not like you're going to be training her to be your girlfriend.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Sweet. I like it. You guys always end so abruptly. And what? Now? What? Who? What? It's like everybody says.
I love our little awkward silences.
Everybody says hello at the same time.
Now they're endearing.
Everybody says hello at the same time. They're like, hello. Wait, what did you say? No, what did you? You go ahead. You go first. And then awkward silence, and nobody knows what to do. Oh. These are the types of things.
I don't know if it's too late right now.
These are the types of things you encounter with girls all the time. This is where you got to learn how to manage your expectations. Where this girl is not going to be comfortable, you have to let yourself be comfortable and manage her discomfort or her awkwardness, her social awkwardness. All you students are like little awkward, little squirrels, little girls basically. And I just got to manage my expectations to take the awkwardness away from the conversation. If I was always like, oh, I'm sorry, what did you mean? Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Oh, let's, right? Back and forth like that. It would become even 100 times more awkward. So I have to manage my expectations and be like, okay, there's going to be a certain amount of pauses, certain amount of awkwardness, certain amount of talking over each other that we just got to manage. And eventually, when I'm comfortable with it and I show that I'm comfortable with it, you'll be comfortable with the silences or with the pauses or with talking over each other or, we're trying to figure this out.
Okay.
More silence. Let it continue.
So the good part is when you acknowledge, when I talk to you and then you acknowledge, see, it's like a back and forth conversation. With 4 people, it's tougher, but because you're like, the tendency is, well, somebody else will answer the question. No, you should, even if there's 10 people there, you should think, okay, he's talking to me. I need to answer the question or I need to answer the statement. You shouldn't always put it on the other person's shoulders. You should practice as guys to always answer, regardless of whether you in the conversation or 20 other people in the conversation.
Even if you ask specifically for something.
If I ask specifically, that's obviously different. If I say high school 101, you shouldn't be answering at that point.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to clarify.
Professor, I wanted to bring something up. And I wanted to talk about the no fap challenge.
The no fap challenge. That's a long one. We'll have to save that for tomorrow. That's going to be a long one.
All right.
We'll cover that.
Okay.
Thank you guys for bringing that.
Cut into my fapping time.
You're going to cut into Terrell's fapping time. All right, everybody, that's it. We'll cut this short, and we'll try and finish. We got a bunch of stuff still to cover. We'll cover it later. This has been Torero. This has been Blue, HS101, and DBP for Manhood Academy Podcasting.
Saying good night and stay classy.
Stay classy.